Hello, and welcome to Light Code Portal, sponsored by Light Language University and Circle Insights. I'm Jeannie Mills, Assistant Dean of Light Language University. We're here tonight with Anna Noyes, founder of Light Language University and Circle Insights. Our topic for tonight's episode is the awakening experience. I'm really excited about this. Hello, Anna. How are you tonight?
Wonderful. So glad to be here tonight and excited about our topic.
Yes.
So I hear we've been getting some questions through the Light Language University over the portal. What
We have.
tonight?
We have. What does it mean to be awakened?
That's a very basic question. So yes, what does it mean to be awakened is that you start to have your psychic senses start to bloom and blossom. You start feeling things, you start hearing the other side, you start, and I say other side, the other dimensions as they merge together. And we've talked about the circle of life, dimensions all kind of on top of each other. And the flower, I think the flower of life is what I wanted to say, that are circle upon circle upon circle that we've done in our videos. You start merging these beautiful experiences, and you start to see and feel and hear, and all of a sudden your six senses become just as open as your five senses. So pretty amazing.
Awesome. Can the experience be a series of events, or is it just one big something?
Yes. So it can be both, depending on each person and their personal fingerprint that we talk about, their energy signatures. So some people, yes, it can be different parts as they awaken, and we call it part of the ascension process. And something may happen where they start to hear things or experience things, and then later on, something else will happen. So it happens in stages. Other people, and like myself, I had a huge awakening. I had these beautiful light beings come in. My whole world flipped upside down. And I always say that it's kind of like being Alice in Wonderland, going down the rabbit hole, and you don't know which is up and where is down, because everything that you thought was real all of a sudden becomes an illusion. And the things that you thought were illusion, like we talked about earlier in the awakening, becomes real. And everything gets blended together. So it's an interesting experience. Some people, I was going to say, add to that, Jeannie, that some people, they like, as they awaken, they may get really, really tired. Or other people may wake up in the middle of the night at 3:30 or some weird time, and they just sit there, not sure, totally awake. And other people, it's phenomenal. Everybody is different how they experience this. So
yeah, I know that, like, for me, I kept thinking, well, my friends are all hearing voices and they're seeing things and they're doing all this, and I'm not doing that. So does that mean that I don't have anything? But yet, like, I feel these things, I sense these things, I know these things. So
exactly,
we're all different,
right? Totally different experience.
Absolutely.
And I think we do talk about that in the university.
We do. Yes. We started in Light Language 101. Carry it through for every class, definitely. Yes, and definitely build on everything. So can a human incarnate on 3D Earth already awakened? So can you come here already awakened?
Yes, you can. So a lot of what we're seeing are the diamonds and the rainbow children that are coming in, and a lot more of them are, but they're very sensitive. So being awakened doesn't necessarily being completely open. It's having that experience. Imagine that we're having this experience on the earth, and somebody from a higher dimension comes in and holds that vibration, and they experience the earth as a lower frequency. So it can be kind of confusing for them as, being awakened being. But what we're excited about as these diamond children are coming in, it goes out, we talk about this again at the university, like in the 101, is that it goes out into their light language, their aura. So you could be shopping and you brush past a person through their auras, because we know light language is out in our auras, and in our physical bodies, and you brush past it, and all of a sudden it starts downloading, and you start getting genetic coding, all these things start, and you start awakening or start purging. And I think when we come in contact with a lot of people, we fear them because we start to purge and we think, oh, that's a bad person. But the truth is, we're getting rid of all of our stuff so that we can move into those higher frequencies. See how it can be confusing to some?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you don't understand what's happening and you come in contact with this person. So we're seeing a lot more of these beautiful beings that are coming in from all over all parts of the universe that are helping to waken the planet. So
Thank you. Um, what will happen when all humans incarnating on Earth are awakened? Is that when we evolve into the 5D Earth, 5-dimensional?
I guess you could go there. I see where that question's kind of coming from. And yes, you could go there. We have to think beyond 5D because we are multidimensional beings. And we know through our spirit anatomy that we come from all over parts. And I love your background because you have stars behind you. And we come from all different star systems, all different universes, different dimensions. And we bring those incredible frequencies down and participate on the planet. So it's not just 5D, it's being connected to all of that and having all of that. So the awakening experience is bigger than just the next dimension that we go to. It's really about being able to channel, open up, and have those connections. Imagine being able to remember your past lives and understanding them without pain or suffering, but having the lessons come in, working on karma. And we're getting to that point where we can shut down and collapse time frames and shift karma. So we're starting to get already to that point. And we have all these groups of consciousness that are in the world right now. We have the 4 levels of consciousness. And the group consciousness right now is kind of in turmoil because they're waking up. And as they wake up, they're going, well, I'm not going to take this anymore. And this other group says, I'm not going to take this anymore. And this other group, and then we've got all these groups. And then it looks total chaos. But the truth is, they're learning to stand in their power and they're trying to figure it out during that process.
Okay. Okay. I keep reading about these horrible things that are happening in our shadow government. There are also lots of conspiracy theories surrounding aliens and COVID-19 origins. Does believing in these types of things mean that I am awakened?
So, good question. So that's kind of a trick question because some of it is true and some of it's not. So you really have to look at the reality. And each person coming from their reality is going to accept a truth as a truth because of their experience. Or another person won't accept that because that's not their truth. So again, it goes back to the fingerprint and us all being different. It also goes back to what I was saying about the 4 levels of consciousness. So we have the individual, which we're talking about the fingerprint. Then we have consciousness where they're all kind of waking up. We're connected to those. And then we have the collective, which is everybody and everything on the planet. And then we have oneness. Oneness is God, creator, however you want to say, the universe. It's everything held together in that one thought form. So just kind of depends where you are and how you experience that. But awakening is understanding that you came from the original thought and the energy. And I tell this story in light language about knitting. I call this the knitting experience. You know this very well. And we have videos out
Right.
there
Yeah.
that when I merged into outside of myself in oneness, I recognized that the one thought, and I was in that plane of oneness, but there was one thought going through everything. And we are actually come from unconditional love. And that frequency, that vibration is to love without exception. So imagine that every atom, every particle, everything in your frequency and everything around you is from that frequency.
Yeah, I do remember that from Light Language 101.
Yes. And the experiences are all
Yeah,
varying from the different. So we talk about the tone scale, which
right.
we use that tool, and everything
Oh,
that we
yes.
go through. Exactly. Yes, the cross. So yeah, and how we manage and how we work through remembering. So I like to think of this experience as it's an adventure. What are we doing? We're learning things, and some things are good, some things we judge as not good, but it's all an experience and it's all lessons. And in the end, it's only a blink
I
into
know,
our
and that's so hard to grasp, but yes.
exactly.
Okay, I have another question. Since my awakening, I just don't seem to connect with the same people as I used to. Is that weird? How can I connect with the new people through the Light Language University?
Okay, it is not weird. So again, we look at frequencies. So we may be vibrating at this particular frequency, and as we purge and let go of something, we change our vibration. So now the people that we were matching the energy, because we're all frequencies in our light language and in our being, we're match. And we no longer match that frequency because now we're doing a different frequency. So then we start to look for people in different relationships that match our frequency. So not only is the verbal, the mental, the physical, everything that's shifting in us, but our whole broadcast within our energy centers in ourself is going out into the universe saying, we've changed the frequency, give me something different. It's kind of interesting. And
Yeah.
how do we so the other part of that, I guess you were asking how we do this with, when we have developing groups that we're a part of, and we have teachers, and we have different things to help people. We've got Facebook, we've got all kinds of social media, and we try to bring people in that have the same language and the same kind of experiences to help them grow and understand and expand, of course.
Like-minded people coming together.
Exactly. And I know years ago in 2013, when I started teaching, um, it was, we kind of started a little bit. And then as we started to grow, a couple of years ago, I had someone come to me and they said, we've taken Light Language 101, we've taken Light Language 102, and now we see the world totally different. But we don't have anybody to talk to. So that's why we created the university. But you and I know that even since we created the university, there are more people speaking the language because it's starting to grow and people are understanding how we're expanding because it's kind of the 100th monkey. We're learning and it's getting bigger in consciousness.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
That's what I was going to say. It's really fun watching it grow. Next, how can spirit and even nature and animals help facilitate our awakening experience?
So again, this goes back to the fingerprint. So a lot of people who really have those experiences on other planets or other dimensions or understand the animal kingdom or even the aliens that are connected to this. And yes, they're aliens, but are connected to those experiences from whatever their past lives or present or future, or we know parallel with the Akashic records. It allows them to have those experiences with the animals or the plants. And you'll notice that some people are drawn to either they're drawn to people or they're drawn to animals more, or they're drawn to plants more, or they're drawn to Mother Earth totally because of their experiences and those connections and how they relate to it. So in that awakening process, those other dimensions in the anatomy, which is Light Language 101, right?
Right.
Those portals open up and bring in those experiences, and they have that now to communicate or to have that experience as they awaken because now it's accessible in their fingertips.
Yes.
So yeah, interesting experience. So how many people do we know that are like, I don't know what just happened? What just happened? What was that? And we get a lot of the people that come into the 101 that are going, well, I had this experience, and we're like, oh, we know what that is. We can tell you what that means. It means this, and we're going to show you how it works. And again, spirit anatomy is just so important, and it's one of those things that we've glossed over. But now, I think more and more people in the world are starting to step up and say, "Hey, this is our third part component: mind, body, spirit."
Spirit.
Definitely big. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How we communicate.
Exactly. So light language is how we communicate.
Yes.
How do I know if I've had an awakening experience?
Ooh, I bet you could answer that one. You'll know. There's no way not to know.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, in 2010, I tell the stories about the light beings coming in, these beautiful golden light beings that look like, as the friend said, as I was describing them, she said they kind of looked or reminded her of the Oscars that they give at the movies, the Oscars. And anyway, I had one in 2010. I was taking a nap and I wake up and there's this beautiful light being waiting for me, just standing next to the bed. And telepathically, we're communicating. And I'm like, and why are you here? What's going on? And they said, the being said, which I know now very well, said, would you like to know what it's about? And I said, yes, I'd like to know what it's about. What's happening? And immediately, again, they showed me the earth, and that's why we have that for the university, but the earth behind you. And they showed us lighting up the dark. First, it was the dark earth, and then everybody lighting everybody's candle. And it becomes this beautiful lit up earth, and it was just all light. So we're kind of doing that. But what the being said too, the light being said, is in 2000, that was 2010, they said, get ready. People are going to wake up and they're going to see things that they haven't seen before. And they're going to hear things and they're going to know things and things are going to happen. And boy, have we seen that. We've seen people, what is this? And we're like, oh, let me tell you how that works. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's definitely, yes, you will know.
Okay, so I have a question. Since my awakening, I've had trouble being around some of my family members. At family gatherings, sometimes it gets dark and negative, and I want to stay positive and discuss possibilities and hope. How can I manage this without losing my family members? That's a good question.
And that's an easy one, right? Because that goes light language 101. It goes back into our story of the voice, and it goes back into what you said earlier. Yes. So we do teach some tools. We don't teach protection because we don't have to. What we teach people is how to change the frequency in their own on their own being and what they're broadcasting and what they're bringing in. And when you're around people that are, and I always do this is positive and I use this as a negative, especially since we're now on Zoom or we're doing lots of Zoom classes. But when we walk into a room and we hold that power, and I don't mean being powerful over making everybody do what we tell them to do, but we hold our power and we know that we're totally connected. People around us, even if they're negative, they can either match our frequency or they move out of the space. And that goes anywhere in your workspace, and with your family, with friends, or just being out on vacation, or running around because we're hitting summer and we're out on vacation and you run into lots of people wanting to get out for COVID. So, but what's exciting about that, we go back into the voice, which we have on I know we're getting ready, we have on YouTube. But what's exciting is that when we hold our power and more people remember their power and others, and that's all it takes is remembering and allowing that space, then we're talking again about that theory, the 100th monkey. And when we get so many people on the planet that are holding their power, and that means you don't have to fight because you know you're connected, that changes. That's a big game changer. So that's where we're heading with the awakening. And that shifts everything on how we communicate, what we're creating. It changes everything. Our technologies, everything. Very exciting. I love it all.
Well, and it's funny because you brought that up, and I remember like right after I took Light Language 101 for the first time, which I've taken it about 3 times, but anyway, and you always get more. But yeah, so I went on a cruise right after that. And, like I would walk in and stuff, and I would hear like negativity, or like you just kind of feel stuff,
Yes.
and then I just be like, wait a minute, I don't have to do that. And I just, and it was awesome. I mean, like, it's so amazing. It's such a great tool. It's such a little thing. I mean, like, it's that quick, and you can do it, and you can change everything. You can not only change you, but you're changing the people around you. You can watch the people around you change. It is amazing. It's so wonderful.
Yes. We are all such powerful beings. We just forget.
Exactly.
Oh.
Well, that's our last question for tonight. I'd like to thank Anna for being here, and for all of you for joining in with us and for watching. And I really appreciate everything that you all have contributed, all the questions that you've sent in, and just for being here. So thank you all. We've got a few things that are coming up. Let me make sure that I get everything. We've got the in-person workshop that we're offering. It's a 2-day Light Language 101 workshop, which we've been talking about tonight. That's on July 24th and 25th. It's going to be at the Miracles of Joy.
I have a flyer here.
There you go. It'll be at the Miracles of Joy in Lewisville, Texas. That's if you want to come in person. Of course, we do also offer on Zoom, but yeah, that's a great one to do in person. We've got a 2-day Light Language 102 workshop on August 7th and 8th, and this will be online. You can, and also anytime that you ever want to get on lightlanguageuniversity.com, you can sign up. You can see all of our information, everything that we have going on, everything that's coming up. Like we've got a holistic festival of life and wellness fair in Plano, Texas, on July 10th. We'll have a booth. We'd love for you all to stop by and see us.
And we're speaking too, right?
Yes.
We're doing a speaking engagement. So we'll be there to talk, and people love to have questions. I think we're going to do a light code portal so people can come in and just ask questions, and we'll answer.
Thank you, Anna, so much for coming tonight and for answering all of our questions. And
thank you.
We'll see you again on July 7th. And let's see, what is it? Oh my goodness, our next Light Code portal is going to be on Akashic Records. That is going to be amazing. I am so excited for that one.
Yes, lots of questions.
Yes, there's going to be a lot of questions about Akashic Records. Sure.
Oh, beautiful. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.